It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Defended in the corner.
To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker. Kenny Walker. Touchdown. Sparty.
Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up.
Yes.
Caught. Touchdown Detroit Lions. They did it. Amon-Ra St. Brown on the receiving end.
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here. A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine. X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Ryan Elke, Dan Cahalan, Anthony Bellino without power today. So maybe we'll give him a call in for something. I don't know. His phone could be on like 1% battery.
That was, man, that thing rolled through yesterday.
Maybe
no
for you
joke.
guys down here, like the first round of the thunderstorms in my area up in northern Oakland County, it got dark, heard thunder, just light rain. No real wind.
It was, it was 100% the hardest wind I have ever seen. Like non-tornado, without a tornado, that was like the trees were sideways in my neighborhood. I can't believe most of them are not uprooted. It was crazy. It was a crazy like 15 minutes, and then it just rained really hard for like 2 hours. But it was quite the storm. I'm glad there wasn't a tornado. I didn't hear if there were any in Michigan, but I mean everybody said, like the weather guys were saying, the weather people were saying that it was definitely a possibility.
Yeah. Then even round 2 of the thunderstorms.
I was in Oppenheimer for that, so that was
so
all right.
like when 9 o'clock hit, like 8:30, 9 o'clock when round 2 was starting, like there was more lightning, more thunder. It was dark out, so I couldn't really tell how bad the wind was up in my area. But I know, obviously, sounds like Toledo got hit a little bit. Detroit area.
I mean, they were concerned about the people at Cedar Point on the Weather Channel yesterday. Because they shut down Cedar Point, and everybody, I'm sure, was just, well, hopefully got to their cars before it got really bad. Yeah. But that's a long walk out to your car from there.
And prayers to all the women that got all dolled up for Beyonce last night just to be rained on. Hope that didn't ruin your experience there. I know Avenged Centerfold was supposed to play at Pine Knob last night. They ended up canceling or postponing. They're going to reschedule.
What is up with, how did everybody know? Like, it seemed like everybody that we knew on Facebook was going to Morgan Wallen a couple weeks ago. But Beyonce, I didn't hear a word about Beyonce until 3 days ago. I don't know, did those like tickets get sold like 5 years ago and it's finally getting fulfilled?
It could be, because there was that Justin Bieber concert, I think, last year that my wife went to. Her original tickets were from 2019.
Yeah, so I mean,
because he postponed the one in 2019 due to health issues. Then COVID happened, and then Bieber's had a variety of health issues. And Detroit was one of the last shows he played on his tour anyway, before he ended up having to cancel the rest of his tour. So it could have been one of those situations. But lots to talk about on the show today. Tigers postponed last night. Straight doubleheader today. Big news for that is Shohei Ohtani, who was originally not going to pitch against the Tigers, has been bumped up to pitch game 1 at 1 o'clock today. So, if you're...
I can't wait. I'm not going to I'll be heading up north for a bachelor party this afternoon, but I'm going to watch in my golf cart this afternoon. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
If you can go, I hope whoever has the ability to go, I hope you go to the game today.
Yeah. I started looking for tickets last night just to be like, well, I don't have much to do after the show. I can get whatever I need to be done before 1 o'clock. Tickets aren't awfully priced. They're just not friendly priced. So, cheapest ticket through Tigers.com, like $28.
I'd say walk up to the box office,
Yeah.
Get there at 12:30.
So not badly priced if you have the means and the time to go out there. So, but a straight doubleheader versus the Angels today to close that series out. Shohei Ohtani, Patrick Sandoval as starters for the Angels. Michael Lorenz and Matt Manning, the starters for the Tigers, I believe.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, it's going up on the scroll of your screen right now if you're watching on BCSN or on our YouTube feed. We'll just go through, Dan, the headlines right now if you got the music ready.
Big news.
I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
Nah, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories of the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
Announced yesterday, Rob Manfred will be extended as MLB commissioner through 2028. Known for multiple things, the pitch clock, bigger bases, and, that little strike, But he'll be your commissioner for 4 more years. Brett McMurphy of the Action Network tweeted out yesterday a slew of Big Ten football game times for NBC. Notables: Maryland at Michigan State, 3:30 p.m. We have Michigan at Michigan State. Will be a night game at Spartan Stadium, 7:30 p.m. We'll dive into that as Michigan and Michigan State fans could not handle themselves again on Twitter last night. Ohio State at Wisconsin at 7:30. These games are all on NBC. Purdue at Michigan will be a 7:30 night game. Michigan State at Ohio State we knew was going to be a 7:30 game, as well as Penn State at Michigan State November 24th on Black Friday will be a 7:30 game. Also news in college football, Colorado expected to announce today that they will be moving back to the Big 12 and leaving the Pac-12. So they've had meetings yesterday and doing a call to action meeting today to make that official. Also saw some rumors that Arizona could be on the move to the Big 12.
Well, I saw that it was Br0's, I believe. He posted a picture with the Oregon Duck.
Right.
And he put big things coming. So now is that Oregon coming to the Big Ten?
Yeah, I wonder if Br0's broke that news for people. But, who knows? That picture could be old because Ohio State and Oregon did play each other. Did a home and home of the last few years. And lastly, the U.S. women's national team ties the Netherlands 1-1. Netherlands went up 1-0, and that was the first time the U.S. women's national team has trailed a World Cup game since 2011. They went 19 straight games without being down in the game. So next up for the U.S. women's national team, they will take on Portugal to close out group play. That will be Tuesday morning at 3 a.m. on Fox. So coming up next, we're going to talk some baseball because we have the trade deadline coming up Monday. But you are watching and listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Elevate your night out at the legendary Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, now open at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
Start with the finest cuts of USDA prime beef. Pair that with handcrafted cocktails, signature signs, and Roots' legendary hospitality, and you've got yourself one incredible night. Roots Chris Steakhouse has arrived. Make a reservation at rootschris.com for your incredible night at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined.
Find savings for all subjects when you shop back to school at Meijer. Start every day on a tasty note with Kellogg's or Post-Breakfast cereal for $3.49. And start shopping early with deals like select name brand and fashion backpacks for 20% off. And Crayola crayons or Elmer's glue for just 50 cents. Plus, get Meijer 70-sheet notebooks for just 35 cents. Find it all in one place and for the right price at Meijer, where you pay the same low Meijer price no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Bill Simonson here with a message from my good friend Josh Garvey. Now, he's the new managing shareholder for Bean Garter. At the end of the year, they'll be merging with Doran Mayhew, and they'll be stronger together as one of America's top accounting and business firms. And speaking of business, if you're a business owner, decision maker, Bean Garter has retirement planning services in combination with Doran Mayhew that can help take a lot of work off of your plate. Third-party administrator for 401k and 403b plans. They plan, document, design, and have maintenance of all plans. They can help you today. Go to BeanGarter.com for more information. Annual employer reporting, Form 500 and 8955 preparation and filing, and compliance testing. So let Bean Garter help you with your retirement planning services for your company. Stronger together now with Doran Mayhew. You can find out more at BeanGarter.com. That is BeanGarter.com.
Get that winning feeling with DraftKings Sportsbook. Money lines, props, parlays, and more. You can bet your favorite sports to take a shot at huge wins. New customers can score $150 in bonus bets instantly for betting just $5 on anything. Plus, all customers can take their winnings to the next level with DraftKings same-game parlays. Open the DraftKings Sportsbook app, opt in, and place your parlay by combining multiple bets for a single game for a shot at an even bigger payout. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the code HUGE. New customers score $150 in bonus bets instantly for betting just $5 on anything. That's code HUGE, only on DraftKings Sportsbook. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline at 1-800-270-7117. 21 plus, Michigan only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/baseball terms. Ryan Elke, Dan Cahalan, X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Anthony Bellino is without power today down in Toledo. So we're here. We're in Royal Oak, Michigan. I was, a little worried if we were going to have power.
Crazy. Yeah. Okay. First of all, the storm yesterday. And then the crane collapse. We're seeing the crane collapse on the news right now in New York. How does that happen? Aren't there some there have to be extreme safety measures, and yet that still happens?
I mean, it was the top of it caught fire,
and it just that's it. It just melted. That's why it fell. I guess I didn't notice that it was on fire. I didn't know it was like a long fire previously. I just thought it was like toppled, a quick fire and then toppled over. I didn't realize that was the reason for the fall. Yeah, that's just insane to me that still happens. That stuff.
Yeah, just another day on this planet we call Earth. We have cranes falling down, people acting out on Twitter, guy on the news with no hairs, 12 inches long.
Woo! Those are some.
And also, 2 words for you, aliens, man.
Yeah, I've long been a believer in aliens. There's just no possible way, if you know anything about the universe, that we as humans are like the only intelligent life. It's an impossibility, because there's thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of inhabitable planets, but we literally can't see. We can see them, but that's about it. So there's so much life out there. We have no clue. I'm hopefully this leads to some real, evidence being revealed, like photos, perhaps videos. There was like a video in a Central American village of some alien activity a couple months ago, and I didn't really believe that, but now it's like, hey, could be true, could be real. I thought that it was like a hoax, but I mean, there's more and more people talking about it every day.
Yeah, if you missed what happened yesterday, there was a congressional hearing. Is that what?
Yeah, I don't know how these things pop up or who decides these are happening, but yes.
Yeah. So a government hearing where they were talking with people that used to formerly work for the government, former Navy pilots, that confirmed that, yes, the U.S. government has outside life form in their possession. Former ships, former
non-human biologics.
Yeah. Don't know what that... that just sounds like something Stan Lee makes up to get out of actually having to think of science words in his comics and movies. Have you ever heard anything Stan Lee said? Like, oh, how do you explain your superheroes got powers? He goes, I just say science. That's it.
So, yeah, aliens. there's lots of stuff that yeah, we don't have to get. I don't want to say I'm Tom DeLonge of Blink-182. He's
he was
way out there.
He was having a field day yesterday. Posts on Twitter, Tom was right, and then ... about the aliens.
Good for him. Yeah, I don't think people were, denying Tom DeLonge's, what he was saying. It's just like, you don't have the money, let alone the, equipment or anything to do this research. Like, the government is, they're clearly keeping us safe from something until they figure out what's actually going on. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Because, when, possibly this started happening, there are more and more alien signs, 40s, 50s, there's the raid, you hear War of the Worlds, all that stuff, and then there was photos and more videos because of technology that makes more believers. And now there's hopefully clear evidence will be provided by the government. That would be, I would love it. I can't wait.
We're all living like Men in Black, the movie, and just never really knew it. But we all kind of knew it, but didn't have the hard evidence. Like, if you had to go to court to prove it.
Yeah, like we wanted to, not that there's any evidence of the contrary, but we want to believe aliens are E.T. Like this cute, cuddly thing that wants to be your friend.
Yeah, not Predator.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that. Or Tony Shalhoub in Men in Black. Just runs a jewelry store. Just runs a discount jewelry pawn store and just, not the best guy in the world, not the worst guy in the world. He's just like us. Just that he goes on Hot Wings and he eats some hot chicken wings.
Yeah, I would like to. I hope there's some more of these guys testifying, or maybe the guy yesterday. He wasn't young, but he wasn't old. I want to hear some like dudes that that have been around. Like, I want to hear from the guys that were in the 50s and 60s at Area 51 when it was first starting. That's who I need to hear from. Like, what's really going on? Do you think it's actually the evidence they're holding is at Area 51, or is that just a ruse?
I hope it's all there. I mean,
I'm just saying I would if.
And I hope there's a skate park, just like in Tony Hawk 1. Like,
good reference.
Like, if not, what are we doing here? So, coming up, we'll get back to actual sports. Just the news of aliens had Dan and I captivated yesterday. Like I said in the headlines, there's a lot to talk about. One thing I didn't touch, I think I did touch in the headlines. Yeah, the U.S. women's national team tied the Netherlands in the Women's World Cup last night, so they'll face Portugal on Tuesday morning, 3 a.m. So, well, we're going to talk some baseball next. Tigers are going to do a straight doubleheader today. We'll get to see Shohei Ohtani, who is off the trade market. So we'll dive more into that as MLB's trade deadline is coming up Monday. So Michael Lorenzen will get to start today, kind of his showcase for other teams. And hopefully he can do something well to put the Tigers in a good position to make a trade this weekend. But yeah, we'll dive into the Tigers next. You're watching and listening to X's and Bros right here on the Michigan Sports Network. You can tweet at us, XB Mornings. Call in about anything. We're going to talk about anything today. Anthony Bellino is out with no power. 248-951-2176. You're listening to X's and Bros.
Imagine this: winning big at Soaring Eagle. Hot winds and scorching July nights. We've turned up the heat, and one lucky player every hour has the chance to win up to $5,000 in sizzling premium play. Blaze in to win red-hot prizes every Friday, 7 to 11 p.m. It's Scorching July Nights, only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Can a radio ad make Michigan's roads safer? Well, a lot of you are in your car on a Michigan road right now. So when it comes to traffic safety, looks like you're in the driver's seat, figuratively and literally. The Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police wants everyone to be safe on the roads. Can a radio ad make that happen? Maybe. Can you make that happen? Definitely. After all, you're in the driver's seat.
Hey, this is Matt Shepard from the Michigan Sports Network. I love summers in Michigan because it means golf season. Now, two things always when I go golfing. I make sure I got my sticks, and I've got plenty of cold, fresh Labatt Blue Light. Whether I've just squeezed in 18 holes or I just want to relax on the patio after a long day, everywhere I go, and I'm serious when I tell you this, I tell people about the smooth, genuine taste of Labatt Blue Light. It's just a great beer. Michigan Sports Network is giving you a chance to win a foursome to Michigan's best courses. Just listen weekdays to The Huge Show and X's and Bros, or just text GOLF to 21,000 to enter. That's GOLF to 21,000. The trip includes 2 overnight stays and 2 rounds of golf, all brought to you by my friends at Labatt Blue Light. So grab a Labatt Blue Light the next time you head out onto the course and enjoy the blue skies, because blue is for Michigan summers and great times. Always enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. All rights reserved. Labatt is a registered U.S. trademark of Labatt Brewing Company, Ltd.
Share your thoughts all morning long on the Meyer Guest Line. Call 248-951-2176. That's 248-951-2176. Now, back to Danny, Ryan, and AB.
X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Ryan Elke, Dan Cahalan, and Anthony Bellino's without power. So,
you could say powerless.
Powerless. You know, not swole, powerless. He didn't hear
Got
that.
him.
Got him. Welcome in to the Michigan Sports Network. Thank you for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, BCSN, you're listening to all our affiliates all across the great state of Michigan and down in Toledo. Detroit Tigers, they were not rained out yesterday. They were just straight out postponed right before the rain started, which is a great call. Don't let your workers go in. Just sit at home.
Yeah,
Stay
especially
home.
after the TV crew. I'm sure they were trying to. What time did the game get called? Did you say?
It was like 3 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm sure some of the light crew was there, getting ready. But no, after the day the TV crew had the day before, they needed that day off yesterday because, now it's a doubleheader today. That's kind of.
Yeah, well, it'll be fun today because what was not supposed to happen was Shohei Ohtani was not going to pitch against the Tigers. His start, it was supposed to be lined up for originally today. They bumped it to Friday for when Angels go to Toronto. And with that news, they actually bumped his start up. So he'll be starting game 1 today. So that'll be fun. You can go see, the most exciting player in modern baseball.
Yeah, I was at Oppenheimer last night with my uncle, cousins.
Your uncle, cousins?
My uncle and my cousins and my girlfriend, and I said Ohtani is already a Hall of Famer just because of
he's on
what he's done.
Track. He's not there because remember who we're talking about with baseball historians and who want to protect the game and whose name he gets mentioned with. So baseball Hall of Fame voters would not take that lightly. But even if he keeps one side of this up, whether pitching or hitting, more 99% would be hitting, he will be a Hall of Famer. So you get to go see him, and it sounds like he will stay in an Angels uniform for the rest of the season. Sports Illustrated did announce yesterday that the Angels are pulling him off the trade block ahead of the trade deadline, which is Monday, as the Angels sit 4 games back in the wild card race. Now, the wild card race is just the Houston Astros and the rest of the AL East. So...
Yeah, the Ohtani getting pulled off the trade market, it would have been unprecedented. Whoever traded for him, if
you're asking price, if you're the Angels, you're asking for the moons, for Tom DeLonge's records of aliens, and 3 top prospects.
Yeah, I mean, really,
for half a season, not even half a season, for 60 games. So that is a huge price to pay because you're not getting one player. You're getting 2 for the price of 1. You're getting the best pitcher on the market and the best hitter on the market. And that's how you kind of got to trade for that. And that's because the Cubs will be selling. They'll probably trade off Marcus Stroman and Cody Bellinger. Imagine if that was a package you're trying to trade for. What that would entail. Now imagine a player that's better than both of them at those positions. And Cody Bellinger is a fine player. He's had a nice bounce back year. He's a rookie of the year. Had his struggles. So he's nowhere near what Ohtani is hitting wise. So that doesn't match up. But Marcus Stroman has been pretty dang good this year.
Yeah, and I'm sure Ohtani being pulled is nice for Scott Harris because, Scott Harris is kind of I mean, I think the Tigers will sell at this point. There's too inconsistent. They don't hit the ball enough. It's a shame because Riley Green is going. He could be the American League batting champ by the end of the season. He could be the Major League batting champ. He's legitimately going to hit 320 this season. So we're wasting these. We always, are you wasting? Like,
I don't know if it's waste, because it's more to me like what the Baltimore Orioles were like last year, where they're in a similar spot. They had a nice start to the year, kind of faded. Tigers have just kind of been more consistently 8 games under 500, but it was Baltimore who has a great farm system of these hitters, and you're seeing it this year. It seems like every week they're calling up a top 10 prospect. Last year, Baltimore fans were like, we need to buy in. We can go for a playoff spot now. Let's buy. And Baltimore they just held firm, and they sold off their closer, their all-star closer. Great. He was kind of came out of nowhere. Jorge Lopez to the Twins. And that's kind of all they did was sell off like their expiring contracts of players that weren't part of the future. And look at them this year. Because they held firm and believed in what they were doing. And now they're one of the best teams in baseball. Granted, I'm not saying the Tigers will be one of the best teams in baseball next year, but it's more of
getting that $30 million off the books. And Miggy has been, I think we can all admit, much better than we expected this year.
Much better than what the first 3 weeks of his season was.
Yeah, so I'm not going to complain about Miggy. He earned the money. But once that 30-plus million is off the books, that will just – the payroll will balance out finally.
Right. And I don't see Eduardo Rodriguez moving unless some team comes in with this over-the-top deal to get him. But I also don't think Eduardo Rodriguez will be safely in a Tigers uniform in this offseason, because he does have the opt-out at the end of the year. If he keeps pitching like the way he is, like outside of Ohtani, like he would be the next pitcher on the market.
Unless, yes, right now, Michael Lorenzen, you said today is the showcase. He's pitched, was it 22 and a third innings scoreless streak or something? I mean, he's been lights out. I think you said he hasn't allowed a run since before he was selected to the game, right?
Yeah, ever since he got selected as an All-Stars when he turned it around. So he had like a 4 or 5 ERA, and now he's down. He's brought it down almost a whole run. I think his ERA is 3.49. So, but yeah, this is showcase. Michael Lorenzen will definitely be traded this weekend. As for other Tigers that will be traded, maybe a bullpen piece. Those bullpen pieces have controllable contracts, so that might be the price. If you're Scott Harris, you'll be setting kind of high. But as for who else, it's like you go around the diamond. Like, Torkelson's not getting traded. Like, unless someone comes in with a nice offer for like Zach McKinstry, because they want a utility guy.
Yeah, you got to take Nick Maton. That's our deal.
Yeah.
You have to take him with.
So, like, other than that, like, going around, it's like Andy Ibanez, maybe. He's got a little pop, but, like.
No,
But again, those are very minor deals, so they're not going to net some
but like you
top
said,
20 prospect.
That's how we want. We kind of want that right now. I think the Tigers are in, like you said, the Baltimore stage of last year, where let's just lay low, make a deal or two, we'll move on to next year.
Right. Because any person that's worth trading on this team outside of Lorenzen and outside of Lorenzen, it's really part of the future. So Carpenter, Green, Torkelson, Eduardo, you're just hoping he opts in or, looks at the franchise favorably if he opts out and wants to just restructure a deal.
Yeah, I can't remember. I'll see if I can find the audio, but somebody asked him about opting in. Didn't he? Wasn't his response like, "I'm here now"?
Pretty much. It was very
Ouch.
political, non-committal. No, it was just I signed my contract. It's more money than ever dreamed of making, so I'm just focusing on being here now. I'm not worried about contracts at the end of the year. I'm here. So it wasn't, besmirching Detroit. It wasn't, already looking forward to free agency, but it wasn't like, a promise that he's going to opt in, because if he keeps pitching like this, he definitely will opt out. As for Javi Baez, he will, I don't know. Like, yes, the money's there, so it makes sense for him to opt in, but if he is not having a fun time in Detroit, who says that he wouldn't opt out to just get restarted?
Yeah, because was it John Rahm, I believe, was just like, I have this amount of money. What is this extra amount of money going to do for me? That's kind of where Javi Baez is at right now. It's like, you made whatever, $60 million, well, probably $40 million the last 2 years. It's like, yeah, you could afford to take a pay cut for a couple of years and figure your game out again. Or I don't need, like you've mentioned, Ryan, this isn't so much not Javi Baez. Like, he's just a little bit off from where he usually is at this time. It's just that, we didn't get what we expected. We expected a 300 hitter. We got a 220 career hitter.
And the funny thing is, if you look at the numbers of all these shortstops that signed in the last, 3 years, all these big-name shortstops, you go around the league, outside of Corey Seager, they've all stunk. Javi Baez is not alone in these shortstops that got big money and expected to be, the guy for these franchises. They've all been bad. I think it was, I can't remember who tweeted it out, but, I think it's, Spencer Torkelson in the month of July, had similar numbers to, all of these shortstops that signed, 9-figure deals. They all equaled Torkelson's numbers for, the last 6 weeks. They all had the same. It just hasn't been a fun time if you've been a shortstop. Maybe they'll be the next running back. Just conspire.
No.
Conspire to, once shortstops hit a certain age.
29. That's it. You're done.
You move them to second and pay them a lot less money. So, but yeah, fun day at the ballpark today. Straight doubleheader, Tigers versus Angels. Game 1 starting at 1:10 p.m. You can call in, talk about the Tigers if you want, and what you think they're going to do at the trade deadline. 248-951-2176. You can text us Sports Radio to 21,000. Tweet at us at XB Mornings. Yeah, Game 1 versus Ohtani today. That's one thing. When looking at the Tigers' schedule, you always kind of look for those teams. You look for teams that don't come here a lot. So, when the Padres came here.
Well, now they will, not a lot, but they will at least be here once a year, every team, which is cool.
Right. Cool, but I also like the rarity of it.
Yes.
That's what I liked about interleague play. I liked when it was that 6-week span of mid-June to the end of July, because it kind of freshened up MLB season of the first 6 weeks or so, first couple months. It's hey, we're going to play the other AL teams, some division people, and then when you kind of hit that lull, it's hey, it's interleague play time.
Yeah, I saw somebody tweet out yesterday the baseball players that you're most likely to go seek out. When their team is in town, you're going to go see that person. And we were like that when we were kids, especially the Cardinals were never here, and they were here one series, and we got to go to see McGuire. and we got to see them hit batting practice. And he was hitting bombs into the left field stands. And that was like, my brother and I will never forget that. Like,
yeah. See, Ken Griffey. Remember seeing him when he played for Seattle, going to Tiger Stadium, when he was with the Reds coming here. I know because that was one of my favorite players growing up. It was one of my dad's favorite players during that time. He loved Junior Griffey, so going to see that. But that's what I miss about interleague play is like when it was more an event for baseball than just kind of a here it is. But that's baseball. It's kind of dumbing down their own product and kind of limiting what they have, because it kind of what I loved about it kind of set up summer to be a little more fun for baseball. And then when it got to like August after the trade deadline, then it went back to, okay, it's division time. It's time to lock in. It's time to get your playoff stuff set. And it's, it's go time and it's make or break time. That's kind of what I miss about how baseball's schedule used to be structured, is that interleague play kind of being its own set time.
Right, and you always loved seeing, like, a pitcher get some ridiculous hit or have to run and put the jacket on. That was always funny to us.
Yeah.
I always loved. So, yeah, when you don't get to see that, you don't even see it ever now, obviously, because of the DH in both leagues. Yeah, it makes it a little more mundane than when we were kids.
Yeah. Also, Zach Greinke will never be part of his 10-10 club that he aspired to be in. 10 home runs, 10 stolen bases as a pitcher. I believe he was only a few stolen bases shy of it. Something like that.
He can get a couple this season. Let him go out there.
So, yeah, he's playing with the Royals again. Like, let him do what he wants. Coming up in the next hour, we're going to talk some college football. Not Jim Harbaugh, even though I believe he will be speaking at Big Ten Media Days today in Indianapolis. But some game times were announced. The NBC Big Ten schedule was announced. So we have some game times for Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State. And some fans other media people went a little crazy when talking about how people conduct themselves, and kind of ironic that the people with microphones couldn't conduct themselves. So we'll dive into that at the 7 o'clock hour. Of course, you can call in with your thoughts, 248-951-2176. Text us Sports Radio to 21,000. You can tweet at us at XB Mornings. Anthony Bellino not in this morning because of no power in the Toledo area, so he is off this morning. So you're getting Ryan Elke and Dan Cahalan. You're watching and listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network, and we're just gonna have fun today. We've already talked about aliens. We've talked about Shohei Ohtani. We
could talk about Oppenheimer.
I'm not linking those two together, but
call in and talk about it.
Yeah, no spoilers for Oppenheimer.
Oh, no spoilers, no.
Not that I know how it ends. You're watching X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Find savings for all subjects when you shop back to school at Meijer. Start every day on a tasty note with Kellogg's or post-breakfast cereal for $3.49. And start shopping early with deals like select name brand and fashion backpacks for 20% off. And Crayola crayons or Elmer's glue for just 50 cents. Plus, get Meijer 70-sheet notebooks for just 35 cents. Find it all in one place and for the right price at Meijer, where you pay the same low Meijer price no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Huge here for Matt Golden and his team at the Tullymore Golf Resort in Canadian Lakes, Michigan. They just got exciting news. Tullymore once again has been ranked as one of America's top 100 greatest public golf courses by Golf Digest. Number 73 in America. And you can experience Tullymore. If you've never played before, you need to get up there. There's a Tullymore Golf Course, St. Ives, 36 holes, great stay and play accommodations. Or if you just want to book a tee time, Tullymore is less than an hour north of GR. Go to tullymoregolf.com. That is tullymoregolf.com. You can book a tee time for this summer, stay and play package throughout the end of the year, or even look ahead to 2024. Go to tullymoregolf.com. That's tullymoregolf.com. And congrats to everybody at Tullymore for being named one of America's top 100 greatest public golf courses by Golf Digest.
In 2022, 5,773 people were seriously injured in crashes on Michigan's roads. 1,123 of those people didn't survive. The Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police reminds you that traffic safety matters to everyone all of the time. In the summer months, Michigan's roads are even busier. More traffic means more risk, but you also have more opportunity to do the right thing. Get to where you're going and do your part so everyone else does too.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive boys and girls high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
Good morning, everyone.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
How are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's a good morning. Wake up to a brand new day.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Psych. It's Ryan Elke, not Anthony Bellino, here on the Michigan Sports Network. Guess not. He's without power. So, Ryan Elke, Dan Cahalan here on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. But golf season is here. Dan is actually out of here today to go on a golf trip. But Matt Golden, he and his team are ready to welcome you to one of the best golfing experiences in Michigan. Tullymore Golf Resort in Canadian Lakes offers 2 championship courses, Tullymore and St. Ives, and it's located about an hour from Grand Rapids, 30 minutes west of Mount Pleasant. It's up north golf without the drive and with lodging to be able to cater to you and your partner, your foursome, or up to 400 of your closest friends, family, or coworkers. I wouldn't invite 400 people on a golf trip, but if you're doing like company thing, that's where you do it. I don't know 400 people. Tullymore not only features the top-of-the-line golf experience, but also top-of-the-line accommodations and the perfect spaces for your wedding, event, reception, or group outing. TullymoreGolf.com or call 1-800-972-4837. That's 1-800-972-4837 and book your stay and play at Tullymore today. Dan, you're going golfing this weekend, right?
I am.
Another bachelor party? Bachelor party 8 this summer for you?
This is 3. This is
that's a lot, and it is like 1's enough for a summer. 2 is like, okay, that's all right.
Luckily, we're not. We drink a lot, but we're not dumb. We don't have to go out to the bar until 3 or 4, and then wake up and we'll be civilized. We'll go eat dinner, maybe hang out at the bar until 11 or midnight. Go to bed.
But it's not that it's like, oh, you're going to get, unbelievably, hydrated for multiple days. It's the fact that you're just doing things like 3 days in a row.
Right, yeah. It's like, all right, wake up, play golf, have lunch, play cornhole, drink more, do this, do that.
Because you're just going to be at a healthy state all weekend to where by Sunday you're going to be like, I need 3 days off from my 3 days off I had. Just to sweat some things out, to just actually sleep.
I might stop at the sauna on the drive home.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to kind of end it. Just sweat it all out and then be ready to restart. Like, I don't even remember the last bachelor party, how many years it's been since I've been on a bachelor party. So all my friends are up and married. My siblings have been married off except one. So my other brother, he's nowhere close to a marriage at this moment. So, yeah, I don't know when my next bachelor party's coming.
I do potentially have a fourth one. It just hasn't been planned yet. The older brothers of the groom, they're a little disorganized. I love them, but for a couple of mid to late 30-year-olds, it's like maybe you guys could plan something a little like on the ball, be a little more on the ball with stuff, so people can get their lives in order and prepared for stuff. But that's how it goes,
right? Especially
bachelor parties. It's like last minute most of the time.
It's not last minute, but it's like it's in bachelorette parties. There's always itineraries of like every single minute planned out. Bachelor parties, like, what are you guys going? What are you guys doing? And if it's not like a golf weekend, it's, I don't know, the casino.
Yeah, we tried to get the shuttle to one of the casinos, the local casinos where we're going, but the shuttles are already reserved. So the casino sounds like the place to be, but we can't get there.
How many people in the group?
18.
Oh, so yeah, that's too much. They're like, we could do like 2 or 3 Ubers. Like, no, you can't even do that.
Yeah, it's like 6 Ubers.
And where are you going this weekend?
Not at liberty to say that.
Okay.
Groom doesn't know.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's not like anything crazy.
He's been kept in the dark, and he does listen to us from time to time.
Yes.
So that's why.
And he works a half a mile from the studio, so he might be right outside the door. We wouldn't even know.
Yeah, his ears firmly pressed against, just trying to hear if Dan has spilled the tea, which he has not. But if you're watching on YouTube, thank you. Steve Brown commented, Oppenheimer was good. I've read a few articles about it, and seems that they were fairly historically accurate and stuck to the book pretty closely. It's good to hear. And Nate Johnson, one of our favorite listeners, watchers, 2 bros are better than none. Doing a great job. Nate always coming in with the positivity, and love it. So Nate, thank you for always watching, always listening. Even when you went on vacation, you were checking in on vacation, watching us every morning. So we do greatly appreciate that. Yeah, you can watch us on YouTube. Just search up Michigan Sports Network is our YouTube name, because that's our company. So that's where you can find our YouTube. We're on BCSN, and we're live on the radio all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio. I always get confused that Toledo is technically the Northwest because of the lake that dips down.
Right. You wouldn't think that it's in the middle, but it is. It's west of center.
Yeah.
Steve talks about Oppenheimer. I saw it last night. I just want to say it's the actual story of the bomb being made was the story I wanted told. I didn't need to hear about Oppenheimer's. I understand, the conclusion makes sense to me. The story of his his promiscuousness.
Was he a promiscuous girl?
Yeah, I didn't. That's not the story I needed told. That it was a great movie. The acting was spectacular. The sets were spectacular. I mean, it was beautifully done. I don't know why you have to have an Irishman playing a Jewish German, and then you have Gary Oldman, a Brit, playing the president. You have Emily Blunt, a Brit, playing Oppenheimer's American wife. Pretty funny, but yeah, that's just how it works out. I when Gary Oldman was the president, I was like why? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Dan is the only man that will go watch a movie. He goes, why are you hiring all these foreign actors to play Americans?
Right.
Sorry. No, this is America. He went full on Bat Dad in the theater last night.
I just found it funny that it's literally all foreign people playing the 3 Americans.
Well, that's just that's just Christopher Nolan letting those people know, like, hey, remember America's history. In case you forgot it. we're gonna plug it in. But yeah, we're gonna talk a little Michigan State coming up at 7:35. And a lot of college football news yesterday. So there's some more movement going on in the college football world. So we kind of touched on it in our headlines a bit. So we will get to that at 7:35 and take your calls as well on what you think, kind of what was said around college football yesterday. You can always call in 248-951-2176. Text us Sports Radio to 21,000. Tweet at us XB Mornings. Or if you're watching our YouTube at Michigan Sports Network, you can comment on the YouTube. Mike just commented to Nate's. Nate put 2 bros are better than none. Then Mike put, that's too many dudes. So we're off to a great morning. Mike, love the comment. Love where you're going there. Yeah, Ryan Elke, Dan Kalen in for Anthony Bellino as he's without power. You're watching and listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
There are 13 folds that bring the American flag to the iconic shape of freedom. This summer, Folds of Honor and Budweiser celebrate 13 years of changing military and first responder lives together. Service never stops, and neither will we. So join me in raising a Budweiser to raise funds for Folds of Honor.
Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Fuel up for less with M-Perks. Earn points on your purchases when you shop at Meijer in-store and online. Then use your points to claim a fuel reward and save at the pump. Your dollar goes further at the pump with M-Perks. Plus, earn points for all qualifying purchases in the Meijer Express station. And keep a lookout for exclusive Meijer Express offers. Enter your M-Perks ID at checkout to earn. Exclusions apply. Not valid in Wisconsin. Max 30 gallons. Download the Meijer app to sign up or see Meijer.com to learn more.
Bill Simonson here with a message from my good friend Josh Garvey. Now, he's the new managing shareholder for Bean Garter. At the end of the year, they'll be merging with Doran Mayhew, and they'll be stronger together as one of America's top accounting and business firms. And speaking of business, if you're a business owner, decision maker, Bean Garter has retirement planning services in combination with Doran Mayhew that can help take a lot of work off of your plate. Third-party administrator for 401k and 403b plans. They plan, document, design, and have maintenance of all plans. They can help you today. Go to BeanGarter.com for more information. Annual employer reporting, Form 500 and 8955 preparation and filing, and compliance testing. So let Bean Garter help you with your retirement planning services for your company. Stronger together now with Doran Mayhew. You can find out more at BeanGarter.com. That is BeanGarter.com.
You're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Can't call in? Text us using the keyword sports radio and send it to 21000 or tweet us at XB Mornings. Now back to Danny Cahalan, Ryan Elke, and Anthony Bellino.
Get that winning feeling with DraftKings Sportsbook. With money lines, props, parlays, and more, you can bet on your favorite sports and take a shot at huge wins. New customers can score $150 in bonus bets instantly for betting just $5 on anything. Plus, all the customers can take their winnings to the next level with DraftKings same-game parlays. I'm so bad at those, but I keep doing them. Open the DraftKings Sportsbook app, opt in, and place your parlay by combining multiple bets from a single game for a shot at an even bigger payout. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code HUGE. The new customers can score $150 in bonus bets instantly for betting just $5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th on anything. That's code HUGE, only on DraftKings Sportsbook. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline at 1-800-270-7117. 21 plus and Michigan only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbooks.draftkings.com/baseball terms. Ryan Elke, Dan Cahalan. We're in for Anthony Bellino, who is without power today due to those thunderstorms last night.
Got a text here.
Oh, okay.
X's and Bros. Two dudes and one who spins the truth on certain teams. Who ends up with more wins this year, Lions or Wolverines?
I mean, your safe bet is your safe bet's Michigan. That's your safe bet. If you're a Lions slappy, which Dan is, I'm a fan, not a slappy of the Lions.
Hey now. By the way,
YouTube will tag us for that.
This is from Freddie. These texts are from Freddie. He says, tuning in from South Haven. Ryan, I'm always positive too. Where's Anthony? 4-day suspension?
Save that text. Just save that one. That elite texting. Comments today have been great. Texts have been great. You can text in Sports Radio 21,000. You can comment on our YouTube live stream. Just look Michigan Sports Network. You'll find our live video right there. And you can also call in 248-951-2176. You know, Anthony and his recruiting. I don't know. Maybe he spewed some lies while recruiting. Out there in the league.
Yikes.
I don't know, man. I need some callers for that one. So, college football news yesterday. We'll touch in on Michigan State next, but college football news. Colorado is going to be moving back to the Big 12. And so that sounds like the Pac-12 is going to keep falling apart. USC, UCLA are moving to the Big 10 next year. Colorado is moving to the Big 12 next year, and saw some rumors that Arizona could be possibly moving to the Big 12. And, of course, there was Br0's, the Ohio State mascot, posted a picture of with the Oregon Duck. It's kind of, spurring up some rumors that maybe Oregon could be on its way over to the Big 10. And I think that's kind of where.
Yeah, but I think you're right. Everybody was expecting that, but I thought Arizona was also supposed to be in on that deal to even it out.
Well, I think it's been a variety of teams of like that fourth Pac-12 team coming to the Big Ten to kind of create that West Pod for the 16-team division. So Arizona, Washington is the big rumor that would be a big get if you want to kind of hold up the standards of academics in the Big Ten. Then you try to go after Stanford, but who knows what they're thinking. So this is where we're at with college sports, and I think this is kind of college football's way of kind of keeping the money, flowing, is to kind of downsize your conferences, as in getting rid of one and just making them a little larger, so that way the money can flow to, 4 conferences instead of 5.
Yeah, but, I mean, there's still the same amount of teams. It's
same amount of teams.
Where's the teams going to go?
But it's more of, like, how many conferences can get these huge TV deals to provide money for all these teams. So if you get rid of one conference, really, and, split those teams up among the other, conferences, then that way they can they can have that money. So I think that's more of a, you're getting rid of department and, moving people along, keeping their, they're keeping their jobs, but, the roles might change. So I think that's what's it has happened in college football, not what's going to happen. It just has happened. So I know
I'm still intrigued by what they're going to do with the scheduling, because it's going to be very difficult on the basketball teams, on the football. The travel is going to be difficult.
The football teams, like, the travel will be somewhat difficult, but yeah, it's the basketball teams. It's the other.
I mean, the basketball teams are going to literally, I mean, you would imagine, stay on the road. Like, hey, we have games, Maryland, Rutgers, Indiana in a 4-day, 5 days.
Not even Indy, like Maryland, Rutgers, Penn State.
Yeah, it's like you have to stay on the road.
I mean, you swing out like, oh, we'll do, Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State. Then like, oh, we have more. We'll do Indiana, Purdue, Illinois, like, or like Iowa, something like that. You're gonna have to really create these East Coast road trips for the out west schools, because again, like USC, UCLA's closest opponent is Minnesota, Iowa.
Yeah, it's just like we talk about when the season starts for baseball, the teams that how far they're going to travel each season. It's like, yeah, the teams in Seattle, they travel the farthest because there's nobody near Seattle.
Because like in the last 10 years, when we knew college conferences were expanding, the talk of who would the Big Ten add? It was always teams like Pitt, Syracuse, Kansas. Like, it was teams that were East or Midwest, of that kind of location, because we never thought we would see kind of cross-country conferences. Like, that's because it seemed like the conferences were very regionalized, because hey, that's who you want to play, are other big schools in your geographical area. Instead, it's getting put together like it's MLB, where we have Big Ten West, Big Ten Central, Big Ten East, now SEC West, SEC Central, SEC East. It's like where that travel seems ridiculous for college kids, only because you are also asking them to, be a student as well. What the seriousness of that statement means to some schools, can be taken different ways. But but Colorado, they're going back to the Big 12 where they belong. I believe when they join, they're going to be number 2 for most Big 12 titles of current Big 12 teams.
Wow, that's quite the stat.
So
it's I saw somebody say that the new team in the same city should get the accolades of the old team. Like the Houston Texans should get the Houston Oilers accolades. What do you think about that?
Oh, 100%. Stay in the city.
So, okay.
Oh, also, Mike with a great comment here on YouTube. How are you going to stay on the road like that and still be a student athlete, in quotations? Exactly. They say it depends on your school and how serious they take that term, student athlete, to begin with. So that's really what it comes down to when you're talking to these schools, but that's why you're also not seeing these smaller conferences, the group of 5 teams, expand like that, because it's more of a thing being a student athlete. Coming up next, we're going to talk Michigan State. Game time has been announced, so we'll dive into that and what people have said. You're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Fuel up for less with M-Perks. Earn points on your purchases when you shop at Meijer in-store and online. Then use your points to claim a fuel reward and save at the pump. Your dollar goes further at the pump with M-Perks. Plus, earn points for all qualifying purchases in the Meijer Express station. And keep a lookout for exclusive Meijer Express offers. Enter your M-Perks ID at checkout to earn. Exclusions apply. Not valid in Wisconsin. Max 30 gallons. Download the Meijer app to sign up or see Meijer.com to learn more.
Bill Simonson here with a message from my good friend Josh Garvey. Now, he's the new managing shareholder for Bean Garter. At the end of the year, they'll be merging with Doran Mayhew, and they'll be stronger together as one of America's top accounting and business firms. And speaking of business, if you're a business owner, decision maker, Bean Garter has retirement planning services in combination with Doran Mayhew that can help take a lot of work off of your plate. Third-party administrator for 401k and 403b plans. They plan, document, design, and have maintenance of all plans. They can help you today. Go to BeanGarter.com for more information. Annual employer reporting, Form 500 and 8955 preparation and filing, and compliance testing. So let Bean Garter help you with your retirement planning services for your company. Stronger together now with Doran Mayhew. You can find out more at BeanGarter.com. That is BeanGarter.com.
The Freddie the Pizza Man Foundation is dedicated to providing support to families and Michigan schools touched by autism. We invite you to join us in supporting these families and schools by making a donation at FreddieThePizzaMan.com. With your donation, you can help provide essential resources that can make a real impact. Visit FreddieThePizzaMan.com to make a donation and to learn more about the foundation's mission. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com. Together, we can make a difference.
From Traverse City to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, you're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Fans are crazy, Ryan.
They are.
You just tell me things
X's
that blow
and
my
Bros.
mind.
X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Ryan Elke, Dan Cahalan here. In for Anthony Bellino. He's without power, so I told him just, hey, go buy a cream for your coffee, because we know you're probably out, and enjoy your morning.
Yeah, it's Thursday. It's his third bottle this week.
Dan and I are just drinking straight black coffee, so that's how we do it. Also, we don't have a refrigerator to put store the cream there, so
we did have the powdered stuff at one point, but
yeah, that's in case of emergencies.
Yes, bad coffee.
Yeah, for church coffee, office coffee. Am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely. I mean, I don't mind black coffee, but yeah, normally I'll put a little cream and sugar, but I'm fine with the full strength.
Went over this in hour number 1 in the headlines. Brett McMurphy of the Action Network announced
friend of the show
announced NBC's Big Ten lineup for the season with game times. So I'll go over them again real quick and kind of talk about the discourse that our fans decided to go on yesterday. Michigan at Maryland, September 23rd. That'll be a 3:30 start on NBC. Ohio State at Wisconsin, October 28th. That'll be a night game in Madison, 7:30. November 4th, Purdue at Michigan on NBC will be a 7:30 start time. Michigan State at Ohio State, we already knew this one, but November 11th will be a 7:30 start. And Penn State at Michigan State, which we did know already on Black Friday, will be a 7:30 start at Ford Field. The big news announced that Michigan at Michigan State, October 21st in East Lansing, will be a 7:30 start time. Night game. Normally, this rivalry is avoided night games, just on, the premise of like, hey, we don't want our students, our fans, out that long for this big of a game for tailgating and get,
Well, it's just more fun. We can be on. It's more fun when the game ends and it's still daylight,
right?
And you can go out and wait for the golf course to clear, wait for the parking lot to clear. You don't have to rush home. Like, that's why I like the noon kickoff. That's the best.
Love noon kickoffs as it gets later in the season, the 3:30 kickoffs, because it allows you to, allows everything to warm up a little. But as we saw yesterday, though, after the game time was announced, saw a variety of people coming from different talk show hosts saying that, we can't have this be a night game because Michigan fans wouldn't be welcomed in East Lansing in a night game. Violence will ensue. It won't. Just let you know. Like, the only violence that will ensue is if you're going to look for that kind of thing, as it is anywhere you go in life.
I mean, it's still your brother, still your cousin, your friend. Right. It's just your Michigan State. It's been this way for 100+ years. The Michigan Ohio State is a little different because, but Michigan State, that's your buddy, that's your friend, that's your brother, sister. It's different.
Like, I remember it 2 years ago. It wasn't a night game, but it was when it was at Michigan State. All the television networks were there. Like, Fox Sports had their pregame show there. Game Day was there. Barstool Sports had their, their college football show there, and it was just electric. I mean, that's what it was. At U of M last year, we hosted our tailgate with Blue by 90. I showed up wearing my Michigan State hat, my Mateen Cleaves jersey, and I think there was only a few comments I got that were like threw me off guard, where it was just like, "Oh, you're a State fan, F you." It's like, okay. Hello to you, too. Because more than likely, when you're tailgating, you're going to be tailgating with your friends and your family. with people you know. And it's just going to be the joyful ribbing that you do with your friends and family anyway. Like, it'll be safe to go up there as long as no one tries to act out after the game. Really, that's really the only time I think that kind of stuff would happen after any game with opposing fans is after, depending on the result. And honestly, at a night game at that time of night, you're probably just beelining to your car, win or lose, if you're an adult and you're just going home.
Yeah, and if you're a student, guess what? You're probably there anyway. You know, you live there, or you're staying with your friends like we all used to when we would go to the game.
Right. So for all that discourse yesterday, we saw certain fans on, I'll just say the U of M side, they were creating fake burners, saying that they were getting already threats if they came up to East Lansing. You're doing that, you're what's wrong with college football fandom. Plain and simple. You're trying to create these fake narratives that, you know, you'll be assaulted if you go to an away game because you don't like the other school or someone on the radio said something you didn't like. 2 words for you. Grow up. Honestly, you're talking about a college football team. Like, this is the part of sports I absolutely despise, is when you just try to enjoy your team and someone else has to kind of rain and crap all over your parade just because you like a team they don't. And if that offends you, grow up. Stop watching sports then. Like, yeah, we can have our playful ribbing about Jim Harbaugh being suspended over recruiting during a dead period. We can have our fun talking about Mel Tucker breaking the bank and, you know, just making more money than he ever deserves. Like, that's all fun and games. You don't need to make up fake threats to try to damage your rival's reputation.
Yes, we have a text here. It says, I see a lot of people are up in arms about one person's comments, but Michigan fans are supporting another guy's comments. Doesn't really make sense.
Well, yeah, that's how it always goes. You know, it's very a pot calling the kettle black during college football fandom because for some reason, because professional sports, there's not really that bloodthirst rival of where you have to deal with your neighbor every day liking a team you don't like. You do it in college football. There's a lot of different ties to different universities, different schools that make you feel some type of way. It also makes you revert back to like you were 15 years old again. And act like you're 15 years old again. Like, everyone's like, oh, I want this out of sports, I want that out of sports. I just want sports to be sports. If you want sports to be sports, then act like an adult when you talk about them. Like, I'm sorry, like, grow up a little. If you're 40 years old getting this upset over a game time over a college football game, then stop watching sports and go read a damn book.
I mean, don't get me wrong. As a sports fan, I love it. I like the noon kickoff. You know, if you're out there, the 3:30's fine. You're there for the game. The 7:30 for the viewer, I can't ask for anything better. It's not too late. 7:30, game's going to be over by 10:15. It's going to be great. There's really nothing to complain about if you're a viewer. Yeah, if you're a fan, it stinks. You have to go out there, especially it's in East. You know, if you're a Metro Detroiter, it's about 90 miles to Lansing. So yeah, it's a trek, especially, you know, if it's 10 p.m. But if you're a fan, you're going anyway. You're going anyway. That's just how it goes. You've dealt with night games before. Just because it's a rivalry, I mean, I think it's going to be better than ever.
And I've said before too, like, I've been to Ohio State's football stadium for Michigan, or for Michigan State, Ohio State, and I've been to a few Michigan State games at U of M, at MSU. Like, I've never really experienced a problem going to a Michigan State game. And I've heard stories about how Ohio State fans act towards Michigan fans. And then, yeah, if you're a Michigan fan not feeling safe going to Ohio State, that's fine. But that's where Ohio State fans are kind of awful. If you're in Toledo and you're an Ohio State fan, grow up. That's going to be the theme of college football fans, is that they all need to grow up a little. Comments on the YouTube. Have they said who the announcers will be for the NBC Big Ten games? I don't know if they have announced, but I imagine it'll be Mike Tirico. That's just my thought of who will be.
Yeah, I can't remember. I swear I saw
I'll
some
look it
info,
up.
But I do not remember exactly. Because, Tirico calls Notre Dame games.
He calls Notre Dame. Okay. So yeah, I'll look into it, see if they have.
I mean, not that, Big Ten country, they're in Big Ten country, so he could call a noon game and then maybe get somewhere and call a 7:30.
Because Notre Dame, I think, will try to be the 3:30 window. I think what NBC has lined it up to be is Notre Dame will be the 3:30 window, and then Big Ten gets mainly the night window, unless Notre Dame has a night game already scheduled. That's why Maryland and Michigan State is a 3:30. And this is from Snoop. 99% never went to the school for a degree. It's a choice to be a fan. 100% is a choice. Again, a lot of it comes from just ties of who your parents rooted for growing up. Or if you didn't have kind of that lineage of fandom, it's who your friends were fans of. So like growing up, Dan and I are in our early to mid 30s. There's a lot of Michigan fans. Why? 1997. Why is there a lot of Michigan State basketball fans? 2000. Kids right now that are in their formative years of, between 7 and 13 years old, they're probably going to be Michigan fans. Why? Because they just got into the college football playoff. There's a group probably in their late 20s that are huge Michigan State fans because they saw the Mark D'Antonio years while Michigan was down. So, theme is, though, like, for all the people are claiming, like, there will be blood on the streets of East Lansing because it's a night game. Like, there won't. There's going to be, there will be a few, like, instances at the game, as there are with every football game you've ever been to. Because there's a few people that can't contain themselves when they go out. But the fact is, you can go to East Lansing as a Michigan fan and enjoy the game.
Here we go. Here's the this was announced in February.
Okay.
Noah Eagle
and
Todd Blackledge will be calling Big Ten Saturday nights, and Catherine Tappan will be the sideline reporter.
Okay.
So great. Ian Eagle's son Noah. He's pretty good.
Pretty good. Syracuse grad. So so there are your NBC Big Ten announcers. So won't be bad. But yeah, for the fact that even granted, it was, like I said, with the sports host saying there will be violence on different shows, that came from literally both sides of the aisle. Came from a person who favors Michigan State a lot. It also came from someone who favors Michigan a lot. Two different entities, two different shows that were kind of going off about that. And honestly, I can probably assume, knowing who both those are and going to the games, because I go to every Michigan State home game. I cover them for the show. My dad's a season ticket holder. I try to go to Michigan during Michigan State's bye week. Try to go down and catch a game there. Don't see either one of them at college football games. So they're kind of, to me, they're speaking out of pocket, because when was the last time they went to a game?
When was the last time they went to any event?
Right.
In this town.
Exactly. So they're doing it to rile y'all up, to make this rivalry more toxic than it should be, because we were getting to a decent place. Yes, there was the tunnel incident last year. Was that with fans? No, it wasn't. There's one fan incident at U of M. It was because one fan touched Mel Tucker's head. If that's the worst incident from a fan you see at a college football game, you're doing pretty good. Did we hear about any incidents at Michigan State when it was 2 years ago when both were top 10 teams? No. Outside of some couch burnings, which happens in East Lansing pretty much every big game.
I feel bad for those parents or whoever's supplying the couches.
They're buying the couches from like Salvation Army.
Yeah,
as all college kids do. You go to Marketplace, you go to the Salvation Army when you move in because you want to do the stadium seating in your dorm room, your apartment. You would just want some awful couch to put on cinder blocks so you can seat 12 people in your living room. So those are the couches that get burned. It's not something.
Freddie says, you guys go into the Shohei game at 1:10. I'm jealous. I would love to go. Is there a lot of buzz of walk-up tickets? Will Comerica have enough hot dogs to sell for 2 games and all of those fans?
Man, they didn't sell any yesterday.
Yeah, good point.
So hopefully you get some discount dogs. So, yeah, Shohei Ohtani at 1 o'clock. I wish I was going, but for my blood, tickets were a touch too high. Just remembering the
Not
day.
like back in the day.
Yeah, where if it was a Thursday afternoon game, you get one. I remember going to a game probably 10 years ago. It was a Thursday afternoon game. Tickets were $1 on the secondary sites. So, but that definitely won't be the case for Michigan State, October 21st, 7:30 p.m. at up in East Lansing. Sorry, just looking at the YouTube comments. Ron, well said, Ryan, on the rivalry. It's getting ridiculous. I've had divided household. We have our fun and then let it go after the game. It's just sports. People are just crazy. I'm just there for football. Ron, well said. Said all my friends, they're Michigan fans. We have our fun, kind of like how Anthony and I have our fun, kind of 1 week a year where we kind of pick and poke at each other. Same with my friends when it's Michigan versus Michigan State. We kind of have our fun. The rest of the time, like, you know, if our team loses, yeah, we'll make a jab or two. Then we go off and, you know, go out to the bonfire that we're having. Get a beer for each other and just let it go.
Yeah, where the other people are coming from, I don't see that in my everyday life.
Well, it's Twitter fingers. That's really what it comes down to. Or X fingers, whichever you want to call it now. Sounds so dirty.
It's Twitter. It's Twitter, people.
It's so dirty. X.com. But no, it's people being too online for sports. It's really what's coming down to. It's not making just Michigan. It's not just a Michigan State thing that Twitter's doing. It's all sports rivalry. What online has done to sports, because it's no longer, hey, I'm gonna go hang out with my neighbor to watch the game. It's some random dude responding to my tweet, and you know they're going all in. Grow up. Stop being so online when it comes to sports. Just relax. It's just a game. Guess what? We're all gonna lose at some point. We'll all have our fun. Coming up 8 o'clock hour, we'll talk Women's World Cup for a minute, talk about the Tigers and the trade deadline. You're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
In the den. Hey, sports fans, here's a hanging curveball that you can knock out of the ballpark. This is Matt Shepard, the voice of Detroit baseball, inviting you to step up to the plate at Eagle Casino and Sports, the mobile sports book where you can bet on all your favorites all year round, including, of course, our national pastime. So download the app and start winning today. Eagle Casino and Sports, made in Michigan, made for Michigan. Must be 21 years or older and in Michigan to play. While the Tigers continue to battle the Angels in this 3-game series, I'd ask you to keep an eye on some of the recent happenings within the Tigers minor league system. 2 former first-round picks, Jackson Jobe and Jace Young, have been promoted up a level. Jobe to High A West Michigan and Young to Double A Erie. It is with the Seawolves where pitchers Wilmer Flores and Ty Madden have been steady and outstanding strike throwers. And at Triple A, all eyes remain on 3 of Detroit's best prospects, center fielder Parker Meadows, Cole Keith, and Justin Henry Malloy. The last 2 need some serious work on their defense, but Meadows has turned a lot of heads roaming center field and making consistent hard contact. He could be in Detroit soon, proving the future is looking brighter.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Make it $1 million summer with over $1 million in premium play. Every Saturday now through September. 6 lucky players win $500 premium play every half hour from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Don't miss the excitement of $1 million summer. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway. reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
The Freddie the Pizza Man Foundation is dedicated to providing support to families and Michigan schools touched by autism. We invite you to join us in supporting these families and schools by making a donation at FreddyThePizzaMan.com. With your donation, you can help provide essential resources that can make a real impact. Visit FreddyThePizzaMan.com to make a donation and to learn more about the foundation's mission. That's FREDI thepizzaman.com. Together, we can make a difference.
There are 13 folds that bring the American flag to the iconic shape of freedom. This summer, Folds of Honor and Budweiser celebrate 13 years of changing military and first responder lives together. Service never stops, and neither will we. So join me in raising a Budweiser to raise funds for Folds of Honor.
Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Find savings for all subjects when you shop back to school at Meijer. Start every day on a tasty note with Kellogg's or post-breakfast cereal for $3.49. And start shopping early with deals like select name brand and fashion backpacks for 20% off. And Crayola crayons or Elmer's glue for just 50 cents. Plus, get Meijer's 70-sheet notebooks for just 35 cents. Find it all in one place and for the right price at Meijer, where you pay the same low Meijer price no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Gets bending in the corner.
To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker. Kenneth Walker. Touchdown. Sparty.
Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up. Yes. Caught. Touchdown to Detroit Lions. They did it. Br0's St. Brown in the receiving end.
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here. A grand slam from Br0's. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Psych. Anthony Bellino, not here today. Power's out, so.
I guess not.
Ja Rule. National treasure. Said it. So.
The kid was a human dynamo.
Ryan Elke, Dan Cahalan, in studio today, not affected by the storms last night. But golf season, it's here, it's going, and Matt Golden and his team are ready to welcome you at one of the best golfing experiences in Michigan. At Tullymore Golf Resort in Canadian Lakes. Anthony was just there for a few days. Looked like he was having loads of fun. Offers 2 championship courses, Tullymore and St. Ives, located about an hour from Grand Rapids, 30 minutes west of Mount Pleasant. Fire up chips. It's up north golf without the drive. And
fire up chips.
Thank you, Justin. Or that's Justin Rose. Thank you. And with the lodging to be able to cater to you and your partner, your foursome, or up to 400 of your closest friends, family, or coworkers. Can't even name 400 people I would invite. Tullymore not only features a top-of-the-line golf experience, but also top-of-the-line accommodations, perfect spaces for your wedding, event, reception, or group outing. TullymoreGolf.com or call 1-800-972-4837. That's 1-800-972-4837 and book your stay and play at Tullymore today. I could use like a golf weekend though, like going up, just staying.
Yeah, you're gonna here in a few weeks. Things get dicey, real fun in Ryan's life. So yeah, you could definitely use a couple days on the golf course.
So I need to plan one. I don't know if it'll happen in the next 3 weeks, but
we can at least play a couple rounds. Maybe not a trip, but we can get out there on the course.
Yeah. Oh, I'll definitely need to go golfing a few times before baby number 3 is here, which will happen right before college football season. So there's that. But let's before we dive into the headlines, you can call us 248-951-2176. Talk about Michigan State, the toxic state of the rivalry via Twitter/X.com, and how that all plays out.
Well, plus just craziness we've seen in the Big Ten this offseason. You have Jim Harbaugh, 4-game suspension. There was a story on PJ Fleck from Front Office Sports about the craziness at Minnesota that went on. Northwestern. Just a crazy offseason in the Big Ten.
Which, just remind you, if you're going to poke fun at a Big Ten team for their indiscretions as a program, they've all done it. A lot of Big Ten teams have been caught doing some bad things. Not that I haven't heard much of the PJ Fleck stuff yet. I haven't read too much into it. Just
one of the funnier quotes or things that one of the people mentioned was that if he didn't like an ovation he got when he came into a room, he would leave the room for a re-ovation.
I should try that when I come home during the day. I pretty much do. If my kids are acting up when I walk in the door and they're whining first time I see them, like, I'll leave again. Like, I'll just go outside. We can try this all over. So maybe I do it with my kids. It's like I want a better reaction to when I walk home. So, but yeah, call us 248-951-2176. Tigers, college football, anything you want to talk about. We did talk about aliens today in the 6 o'clock hour. Tweet us, tweet at us, XB Mornings, or text us, Sports Radio 21,000 if you're watching on YouTube. Leave a comment. The comment section's been pretty good today. So a lot of funny comments, a lot of nice comments. So thank you guys. But now let's get into the headlines.
Big news.
Remix.
I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
Nah, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories of the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
The Tigers, they were postponed yesterday. Thankfully, this time in a timely fashion versus the Angels, which that will be made up today as a straight doubleheader starting at 1 o'clock in downtown Detroit. Shohei Ohtani, who was not projected to start versus the Tigers, but versus Toronto tomorrow, will be starting game 1 today versus Detroit versus Michael Lorenzen. Michael Lorenzen will probably be traded this weekend due to the MLB trade deadline. According to Sports Illustrated yesterday, the Angels have taken superstar Shohei Ohtani off the trade market. As the Angels are only 4 games back of the wild card, they are going to try to either make some moves or wait till Mike Trout gets back and maybe make the playoffs. So game 1 starts at 1:10. Game 2 will start 40 minutes after the completion of game 1. Your game 2 starters are Patrick Sandoval for the Angels and Matt Manning for the Tigers. Rob Manfred has been extended as MLB commissioner until 2028. He is known for multiple things, making bigger bases, the pitch clock, and also the strike. So 4 more years of Rob Manfred. What will be next? Maybe bigger foul poles as well. U.S. women's national team played the Netherlands last night in the Women's World Cup, and they come to a 1-1 draw. U.S. women's team was actually down 1-0 in the game, and it was the first time they were trailing in a World Cup game since 2015. It was 19 straight matches where they did not trail at all. So they ended up getting the equalizer, I believe, in the 62nd minute. It's Lindsey Horn on a corner kick. So they are now still at the top of the table.
Does it seem like the women can corner kick better? Or maybe it's just because, like, obviously the women aren't as tall, so they don't get blocked as much. But the corner kick is much more exciting in the women's game because they score it a lot. It doesn't happen that often because there's just the guys are so big that the ball just, it's not like a clear path. Like the Irish team, a girl put it went untouched into the net from the corner. It was awesome.
Yeah. Next game for the women's team will be Tuesday morning, 3 a.m. They play Portugal. I believe they just need to force a draw with Portugal to advance out of the group stage for the women's national team. College football news. Michigan State. It was announced yesterday by Brett McMurphy of the Action Network. It'll be a night game on NBC, 7:30 on October 21st on NBC, and expected to be officially announced today. I believe Colorado will be leaving the Pac-12 to rejoin the Big 12. Pac-12, I don't know if they will cease to exist in the next 5 to 10 years, because I also saw some rumors on TwitterX.com that Arizona could be joining Colorado as well as making the move to the Big 12 as well. So nice kind of, it doesn't fulfill the Texas-Oklahoma void, but to get Colorado back in the Big 12 would be nice. Arizona seems like they could fit the Big 12 mold as well, just because they're right there. So they're kind of in between Pac-12 and Big 12 country, so that makes sense for them. But those are your headlines. Coming up, we'll talk some MLB trade deadline next, what we think the Tigers will do, what they could do, and really what if there will be any really big names on the move this weekend. There were a few trades yesterday with some older, bigger names moving, but nothing too exciting. So we'll get into that. Remember, you can call us 248-951-2176, text us Sports Radio 21,000, tweet us at XB Mornings, or just hop on YouTube, watch the show, drop a comment. But Ryan Elke, Dan Kalen in for Anthony Bellino right here on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for Matt Golden and his team at the Tullymore Golf Resort in Canadian Lakes, Michigan. They just got exciting news. Tullymore, once again, has been ranked as one of America's top 100 greatest public golf courses by Golf Digest. Number 73 in America. And you can experience Tullymore. If you've never played before, you need to get up there. There's a Tullymore Golf Course, St. Ives, 36 holes, great stay and play accommodations. Or if you just want to book a tee time, Tullymore is less than an hour north of GR. Go to tullymoregolf.com. That is tullymoregolf.com. You can book a tee time for this summer, stay and play package throughout the end of the year, or even look ahead to 2024. Go to tullymoregolf.com. That's tullymoregolf.com. And congrats to everybody at Tullymore for being named one of America's top 100 greatest public golf courses by Golf Digest.
Hey, this is Matt Shepard from the Michigan Sports Network. I love summers in Michigan because it means golf season. Now, two things always when I go golfing. I make sure I got my sticks, and I've got plenty of cold, fresh Labatt Blue Light. Whether I've just squeezed in 18 holes or I just want to relax on the patio after a long day, everywhere I go, and I'm serious when I tell you this, I tell people about the smooth, genuine taste of Labatt Blue Light. It's just a great beer. Michigan Sports Network is giving you a chance to win a foursome to Michigan's best courses. Just listen weekdays to The Huge Show and X's and Bros, or just text GOLF to 21,000 to enter. That's GOLF to 21,000. The trip includes 2 overnight stays and 2 rounds of golf, all brought to you by my friends at Labatt Blue Light. So grab a Labatt Blue Light the next time you head out onto the course and enjoy the blue skies, because blue is for Michigan summers and great times. Always enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. All rights reserved. Labatt is a registered U.S. trademark of Labatt Brewing Company, Ltd.
Share your thoughts all morning long on the Meijer guest line. Call 248-951-2176. That's 248-951-2176. Now, back to Danny, Ryan, and AB.
Ryan Elke, Dan Cahalan, in on X's and Bros. This morning, Anthony Bellino out. Lower body injury.
LBI.
Just kidding. He doesn't have power due to the storms last night. So, Dan and I in today, and we got lots of fun things to talk about. First, it's almost the weekend. It's pretty much the weekend. It's Thursday. So I always say on Thursdays, pretty much the weekend. You want to get that winning feeling with DraftKings Sportsbook. Money lines, props, parlays, and more. You can bet on your favorite sports and take a shot at huge wins. New customers can score $150 in bonus bets instantly for betting just $5 on anything. Plus, all customers can take their winnings to the next level of DraftKings same-game parlays. Open the DraftKings Sportsbook app, opt in, and place your parlay by combining multiple bets from a single game for a shot at an even bigger payout. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code HUGE, H-U-G-E. New customers can score $150 in bonus bets instantly for betting just $5 on anything. That's code HUGE, only on DraftKings Sportsbooks. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem wants help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline at 1-800-270-7117, 21 plus Michigan only. Bonus bets expire in 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/baseball terms. Call in 248-951-2176. That's a lot of numbers thrown at your way. But that last one, that's our phone number, 248-951-2176. We can talk about anything. We can talk about Tigers, MLB trade deadline, Michigan State, college football conference realignment. Again, because more news dropping. Or you can tweet us, XB Mornings, Texas Sports Radio to 21,000. And comment on the YouTube, which we do have a comment from Nate. Does anyone else think AC Bellino looks like Riley Green?
He does a little bit. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. Also, black coffee for life, Nate says. Cheers to you, Nate.
Cheers. We got a text here from Freddie. He says, I would love to see the Tigers trade Carpenter for an experienced pitcher plus a major league third baseman or a catcher. Then call up Meadows. He's a left-handed bat as well, plus can play defense. The third baseman thing, Colt Keith is going to be the third baseman of the future for this organization.
Is that like catcher of the future?
Yes.
Did Freddie ask if we would go for another catcher of the future?
We already have another catcher of the future. Dylan Dingler is, again, he's the next guy.
Which Freddie, I mean, you shouldn't be calling for a catcher because Jake Rogers is Al Avila's, like, crown jewel. You can't get rid of Al Avila's crown jewel from the trade. You can't go for another catcher of the future. He's here, and he's hitting .215. At least he has pop, though. So if he can hold that, Jake Rogers will be in the majors for a long time if these are his stats. As underwhelming as they may be to you, if you're a catcher that can hit over 200, have some pop, and call a great game, you're playing in the league for 15 years. If you hit anything above 250 as a catcher consistently, you're almost on a Hall of Fame status.
Yeah, if you're looking like a guy that comes to mind that was on the Tigers that did that is Vance Wilson. Like a dude that was just around forever because he was a good catcher and he could hit a little bit, but he made it work.
And didn't even ask it. If you're a backup catcher, the qualifications get lower. It's just more of, can you call a good game? That's all backup catchers are, is that they call a good game. Eric Haas, despite his hitting woes, the Tigers are like 8 games over 500 when he's behind the plate.
Yeah, it seems like every time he's catching, like there's 3 or 4 innings where there's no hits to start the game.
So I don't know if he's been Lorenzen's catcher since the All-Star. I know Haas was the catcher for the combined no-hitter. I know he's been in the last few weeks, if there's been a great pitching performance, Eric Haas has been behind the plate, and that's kind of how you earn your stay in the major leagues as a catcher. So, speaking of the Tigers, doubleheader today. Shohei Ohtani will be pitching Game 1, so that'll be exciting to see. As long as Bally has their trucks fixed. Dan, do you have any update on that?
Yeah, I'm sure they're fine. That God, I feel terrible. I was watching the pregame show, that when that happened, and then they come up from break, and it was blank.
Yeah, network connectivity problems.
Yeah, so
seemed like.
Right, exactly. So then I turned on the radio broadcast, and it was a few minutes. The game seemed like a few minutes delayed, and Dickerson and Andy Dirks didn't know what was going on, and then maybe it got relayed to them. There's no video feed,
right?
So,
yeah, because that means
they didn't track the umpire tracking because the video was down, so they missed more than 5 pitches.
Yeah, so which means for that last game they didn't have the announcers didn't have their feed as well to the game, so they were just tracking everything by eye, which you may say that's their job anyway. The video helps. Helps when you're calling pitches, because when you're that high up, you can't really tell if it's a ball or strike. You have a general idea, but you can't tell. So it'll be an interesting day for Detroit doing the doubleheader. Michael Lorenzen, probably his last start for the Tigers. So he's pitching in Game 1, and we've seen some trades already. MLB, the Cleveland Guardians and the Dodgers did a trade last night. Ahmed Rosario for Noah Syndergaard, and Lucas Giolito, and Ronaldo Lopez. Or confused?
Correct.
There's a lot of good relievers with the last name Lopez right now, or just a lot of good pitchers. There's Jorge, there's Pablo, and Ronaldo. So, the Jorge Lopez just got traded to Miami, where Pablo Lopez is a starting pitcher there. Ronaldo just got traded with Lucas Giolito to the Angels, and I believe the White Sox actually got the Angels 2 top 5 prospects.
Yes, everybody on Twitter last night and this morning early on they're expecting a feast of sorts if and when these Eduardo Rodriguez and Michael Lorenzen trades go down, because how they got that for a starting pitcher with a 4.5 ERA and a reliever with a 4.6, people are saying, well, our guy's got the longest scoreless inning streak in the league right now, and the other guy was pitching a Cy Young winner before he got injured. So this might be feast time for the Tigers.
Right, and just looking, both Giolito and Lopez from the White Sox to the Angels, both on expiring contracts. So this will be Scott Harris's first real big test of being the president GM, because on this show, for some reason, we talk a lot about Al Avila, despite him being gone. Al Avila could do one thing well as the GM for Detroit. He could scout and he could draft. Scouting and drafting, just because that's the role where he came from. Where he failed and what led to him not being here anymore is that his trades weren't good and his free agent signings never panned out. Whether that was due to injury, whether it was a bad deal, they just never worked. He has a lot more bad deals than even okay deals. So this will be Scott Harris's first test if he can get some value out of what seems like the minimal pieces the Tigers will be selling off. So we'll see what happens this weekend with the Tigers and the trade deadline. If you want to talk about it, call 248-951-2176. This is Ryan and Dan on X's and Bros in the Michigan Sports Network.
Can a radio ad make Michigan's roads safer? Well, a lot of you are in your car on a Michigan road right now. So when it comes to traffic safety, looks like you're in the driver's seat, figuratively and literally. The Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police wants everyone to be safe on the roads. Can a radio ad make that happen? Maybe. Can you make that happen? Definitely. After all, you're in the driver's seat.
Fuel up for less with M-Perks. Earn points on your purchases when you shop at Meijer in-store and online. Then use your points to claim a fuel reward and save at the pump. Your dollar goes further at the pump with M-Perks. Plus, earn points for all qualifying purchases in the Meijer Express station. And keep a lookout for exclusive Meijer Express offers. Enter your M-Perks ID at checkout to earn. Exclusions apply. Not valid in Wisconsin. Max 30 gallons. Download the Meijer app to sign up or see Meijer.com to learn more.
From planting a simple seed to managing a global food supply, growing, processing, and distributing food is the backbone of America. You deal with food safety and labor issues, cost control, and not to mention Mother Nature. But do you have time to explore research development and biotechnical tax credits? Properly administer payroll for temporary employees. Ensure that you're operating at your most profitable? That's where we come in. We're Bean Garter. And while your business is America's food supply, our business is helping you run your business better. We'll assist with tax credits, assess your processes and controls, and so much more. And while we may not be able to help you plant your crops, we can help you realize a rich financial harvest. From the family farm to worldwide distribution of all the things you grow, grow your business better. Experience service, expertise, and simplicity at Bean Garter. Find us online, beangarter.com. Bean Garter.
You're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Can't call in? Text us using the keyword sports radio and send it to 21000 or tweet us at XB Mornings. Now back to Danny Cahalan, Ryan Elke, and Anthony Bellino.
Expecting Dan to just rap the song for me.
I'm not going to. I could. Yeah, I could. I could definitely do the choruses for sure, but not going to.
Ryan Elke, Dan Cahalan, in for Anthony Bellino today on X's and Bros. Anthony, unfortunately, out of power due to the storms last night. I live up in northern Oakland County, so for people on the west side of the state that are unfamiliar, between Flint and Detroit, kind of like the halfway point. So that's storms weren't as bad as they were down this area, down obviously where Anthony lives. I don't know what they were like on the west side of the state.
Yeah, I live in Grosse Pointe, so the extreme eastern part of the state. The winds were really bad. I actually just saw a tweet of a video from Grosse Pointe, and apparently there was some spinning clouds. I won't call it a tornado, but definitely something rolled through Grosse Pointe yesterday, which perhaps that was the late storm when I wasn't even, I was in Southgate last night.
You were in Barbenheimer.
Yes, exactly.
Which by Grosse Pointe featured in the new Justified series. It takes place in Detroit, and they spelled Grosse Pointe wrong. They forgot the E at the end of point.
See, there was already a movie. You would think they could have just, if you've seen Grosse Pointe Blank or heard, I'm sure you've heard the name. John Cusack is in it. I mean, he's one of the, say he's a legendary actor. I don't know how you've never heard of that. So that's poor job. Wait, it was on a sign?
Yeah. Or it was a sign for Grosse Pointe. Gross spelled right.
This is scary.
But it's the E on point where it's okay, you're rushing through.
Well, also, it could be a play because if you don't know Grosse Pointe and Detroit, they don't have the best relationship because Grosse Pointe just decided one day they were going to put up a fence at the line of demarcation, and the city of Detroit did not take kindly to that. So maybe it's a play like gross, you guys are jerks.
Yeah, I believe Berlin did the same thing.
Yes. Yeah, we got asked that by an Uber driver what side of the wall we lived on. It made us feel very bad.
And there's your Grosse Pointe history lesson for the day. Man. So, you can text us, Sports Radio 21,000. Call us 248-951-2176. We were talking about the MLB trade deadline last segment, kind of what the Tigers will do. Freddie texted in, kind of hoping they go for a third baseman. They could use Kerry Carpenter as the bait, but it sounds like Kerry Carpenter's here to stay. He's a 25-year-old left-handed power hitter. Those don't come by often. So, I think...
Yeah, I mean, they expected to have one in Austin Meadows, but he hasn't been on the team. Kerry Carpenter could have been a trade piece if Austin Meadows was on this team right now.
And it seemed like at the time when Al Avila did trade Austin Meadows for Isaac Paredes, I actually loved that deal. I think a lot of people liked that deal. And it turns out that deal was really bad.
Yeah, speaking of Avila, we got a response. He didn't fail the Verlander trade. Rogers is going. The top pitcher in that trade got hurt. Cameron was hitting, then got COVID and didn't come back. It was a bad luck trade, not a bad trade. No one gave Avila credit for drafting until his guys started coming up and playing.
No, I think everyone ignored the drafting because the trades and the free agent signings were terrible.
They continues. They were a bit ravaged 2 years ago with the top farm system. There are articles saying the Tigers would be the most affected when COVID shut down the minors. Now this whole thing, this whole town thinks Harris can't do anything wrong. He better, because the cupboards are full like Harbaugh got with Hoax guys.
Well, no.
Here we go.
Well, Scott Harris hasn't really done anything yet. So that's why I'm saying this trade deadline, seeing what Lucas Giolito and Reynaldo Lopez went for to the Angels, getting 2 top 5 prospects from the Angels, this is Harris's first test. Like, this is what, like, and this, I don't think Scott Harris will not be treated like Steve Yzerman, where anything gets polished over, because Scott Harris has no ties to the city of Detroit whatsoever. He'll be graded just as fairly as Al Avila was graded. I don't know the love affair for Al Avila. I'm tired of saying his name. I need to go to AA, Al Avila, Anonymous, go AAA, and just...
AAA! That is Al Avila Anonymous. That's what we're going with now forever.
Speaking of AAA, comments on the YouTube from Austin Bowman. Yes, Dingler's good. I'd like to go after Joey Bart sitting at AAA for San Fran. Sure. I mean, Joey Bart, I still think is younger, like 25, 26. He's a former, I think, top 5 pick, maybe number 1 overall pick for San Fran.
I don't think he's that old. Is he really? Let's see. I'm Googling.
He's under 25.
He is 26 years old.
26 years old. He's supposed to be Buster Posey's replacement in San Fran, and it just never worked out for him out there. Hitting-wise, just it never connected. If you want to take a flyer to try to just replenish your catching pool, I guess, to try to – but it's – I mean, if you're looking at the team, it should be Dylan Dingler should be your – Dylan Dingler and Jake Rogers will be your catchers. Hopefully for the next 10 years. With Eric Haas, he can move to the outfield, be an emergency catcher if he's still in the plans. Or he'll just be kind of released and be gone forever.
Yeah, unfortunately, Eric Haas, it's just like you said earlier, he calls a great game. We've seen the success of the pitchers when he catches, but you just can't. You can't hit 190 when you're, 2 years ago, you hit 25 home runs. You got to hit 15 home runs. You did,
yeah.
Especially like you're the backup catcher and you are getting at bats as a left fielder because they want your bat in there. You need to produce.
That, and it's just Eric Haas just can't hit anything. The book on him was like, hey, you can hit a fastball like that, and it's cool. You can dial in on a pitch, that's great. Now he can't hit anything. So, we'll see what the Tigers will do.
All right,
gosh, Freddie,
he's on it. He said he hated the Meadows trade. Followed the minors for years, and I loved Isak. I hated that they didn't play him here enough. That's why I'm done with AJ. He ends with, fire AJ. I'm nowhere near firing AJ Hinch right now.
No, but I think and I don't mind when people say AJ should be on the hot seat, because I think it's been a very up and down times with the Tigers. So if people are like, you know what, I'm kind of out on him, fine. This is third year, fourth year? But still, multiple years in, and
fourth season?
You can say what you want about the farm system, but it's fine to question AJ Hinch at this point. I'm okay if you're like, I'm done with him. We need kind of like a fresh voice, or even if AJ Hinch is like, you know what, I kind of want to go to a team that's more ready than what Detroit is. So we have Meijer Supercenter guest line, 248-951-2176. Welcome to X's and Bros. Name and where you're calling from.
Hey, this is Mark from Gun Lake. How you guys doing?
What's up, Mark?
What's up, Mark? How's it going today?
I just wanted to tell you, I think you guys did a good job this morning.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and I just in the last couple of weeks, what's been the big thing in sports is the running backs not getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just say one example where there was a big flip flop? I don't know if you're old enough to know who Scott Mitchell is, but he made more than Barry Sanders. Now, come on. I don't think that was right. I really don't. But I just wanted to chime in on that. I think AJ's a pretty good manager. But I think the Tigers are on their way up. They're a young team like the Pistons. How do you think the Pistons are going to do this fall?
Hopefully better, but it feels like the last 3 years we've been like, yeah, it's time for the next step, and then it's been like 1 step forward, 3 steps back, and just because of injuries and everything, so it's like at this point it's just like we just got to see something, and it has to be record-wise. We can't go on this faith of the young guys. Well, one of them looked good this year. It's like, when are they going to be wins? Like we've all been through enough rebuilds to where the fans are impatient, and rightfully so, of like, one of y'all have to produce something now to give us the real hope.
Right. Do you think that now I heard some rumors about Hayes and Bogdanovich might be going to Dallas. Did you hear anything about that?
There's been some rumors about that for a few months, and it's one of, if it happens, it happens. Like I think they kind of want to move on from Tim Hardaway Jr.'s contract, so I think that would be kind of where the trade direction will go. But if you're the Pistons, I think you just kind of want to hold out for something more. I don't know what that would be. Dan and I are more baseball guys than basketball guys. Anthony's our basketball guy on the show, but
right.
I'd need something more than just Tim Hardaway Jr. for Bogey.
Right, I got you. Well, in spite of that, you guys did great this morning. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk with you later.
All right, thank you, Mark. Yeah, Mark called in on the Meijer Supercenter guest line. You can too, 248-951-2176. It's Thursday. It's pretty much the weekend.
By the way, some not even breaking news, but Dalvin Cook will be visiting the New York Football Jets this weekend. After he's going to make an appearance on Good Morning Football tomorrow, and then work out for the Jets this weekend.
Woo.
I don't. Maybe he's going to make a plea for higher paid running backs on Good Morning Football.
Still, the Jets have who's that kid from Iowa State?
Oh,
Breece Hall.
Breece Hall, yes.
They drafted Breece Hall last year.
Yeah, he got injured early, so he's going to be ready to rock, you think.
Like, is Dalvin Cook going to come in as the number one back for the Jets when he signs? I wouldn't think so. Breece Hall was doing really well for them last year until he got hurt. So I think, guess what you're signing into, Dalvin Cook? A running back by committee. And these, I know we talked about it extensively this week, but since it's kind of been brought up, the fact that these running backs, I understand where they can come from, saying, hey, we've done all this production, we hit our prime, our prime's kind of over when when we're able to hit free agency. How do we get to kind of cash in on that? Ask your union. And Jim Irsay kind of said it yesterday. He tweeted out, it's not our fault. It's like we've negotiated this type of stuff with the NFLPA. So with the running backs doing it, it's kind of in bad faith to try to work for more money.
I don't disagree with that.
Right.
Because guess what? You signed that contract. You signed it. You signed the deal. You ratified it. You're a union member. You pay your dues. Got to live with it. Got to eat it.
Right. That's something you have to bring up with your union at some point. Say, hey, we need to somehow get rid of the franchise tag because it's costing us long-term dollars.
I mean, the funny thing is, like Saquon, I don't know if you saw this. There's no tag clause in that Saquon Barkley deal, the 1-year contract. He could get tagged next year. What are you thinking? Like, you should have made you had the deal. You could have put that in there. That's on you.
So, yeah, if you're running back, you need to talk to your union instead of complaining on Twitter and on these shows about how you're not getting paid, or have a secret running back meeting where we just go, "Aw, shucks, poor us, poor running backs." It's like, yeah, I understand you're upset. it's you and your peers' fault. Really. The owners are just going as business should. They're seeing
They're playing by the rules exactly how they want to.
Right. They're seeing a depreciating value, and they don't want to invest long-term in something that's depreciating. How can you fault the owner for doing so? If you were taking your own money and looking into a business like that, are you going to invest in Harmony House right now? No. Are you going to invest in Best Buy? Are you hoping GameStop will
Come
make
on, media play? Sam Goody? You're not in?
Exactly. Like, even those, all our references are even more outdated than some of these running backs. But it's just more of, they found a way. There's talented running backs everywhere. How many times in college football do we see a talented running back, and it comes to the draft time, they're drafted like 5th round? Like, oh, wow, that's what NFL teams think. So they can find guys, a cheaper deal, get similar production. Right, there's outliers. There's Christian McCaffreys. There's Derrick Henrys. There always will be. There will be guys that will get these big money deals because they can have some sustainability. Even though Christian McCaffrey hasn't, he's had his injury issues. But, like, there'll be some that will make their money. You have your Zeke Elliott's, where that's what people will point to the other side of why you don't want to invest big money long term. Is because you look at that and you go, yeah, we don't want to be stuck in that. Like, it's not, like, it's a salary cap league. You can only spend so much. The quarterback talent pool is not as big as the running back talent pool, so that's why you invest in the money where if you, all that money and guys you think are just above average. That's why Daniel Jones is making, $20 million a year. Why Kirk Cousins makes like $35 million a year.
We'll have to talk about it when I get back, but and I know it is 16 games compared to, NBA season is 82, but the fact that Jaylen Brown is making more than Justin Herbert per year, that's just crazy to me. How is that? It's, again, 82 games versus 17. Still, it's mind-boggling, the money in the NBA. Just $60 million a year?
I mean, we've been saying it on the show for a few years now. At some point, we're all expecting this sports bubble to kind of burst. Like, how sustainable is it for basketball players to be signing $60 million a year deals? For baseball players to be signing 10-year, $400 million deals? Like, hockey's the only one where it seems reasonable what the players are making. NFL players, some NFL players, what they're making. But we'll dive into that tomorrow or next week. Dan will be out tomorrow. Hopefully Anthony gets his power back. Ryan and Dan have been in here all morning. We've had our fun. Thank you for all the comments and listening and watching. X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
There are 13 folds that bring the American flag to the iconic shape of freedom. This summer, Folds of Honor and Budweiser celebrate 13 years of changing military and first responder lives together. Service never stops, and neither will we. So join me in raising a Budweiser to raise funds for Folds of Honor.
Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Fuel up for less with M-Perks. Earn points on your purchases when you shop at Meijer in-store and online. Then use your points to claim a fuel reward and save at the pump. Your dollar goes further at the pump with M-Perks. Plus, earn points for all qualifying purchases in the Meijer Express station. And keep a lookout for exclusive Meijer Express offers. Enter your M-Perks ID at checkout to earn. Exclusions apply. Not valid in Wisconsin. Max 30 gallons. Download the Meijer app to sign up or see Meijer.com to learn more.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Hot winds and scorching July nights. We've turned up the heat, and one lucky player every hour has the chance to win up to $5,000 in sizzling premium play. Blaze in to win red-hot prizes every Friday, 7 to 11 p.m. It's Scorching July nights, only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.